Yeah! Oh, yeah! Yeah! What's up, Twitch? What's up, twitch.tv/The Trident Network, or possibly what's up to you in the future if you're listening to this on a podcast, or maybe you're watching the recording of this. I don't know whether you're joining us live or in the future. We're just happy you're here. This is I Love Improv with Trent Dozier. I am your titular host, Trent Dozier. So happy to have you here, either live or in the future. However you choose to intake improv, doesn't matter to me as long as you're intaking improv, because we love it, baby. We freaking love it. Joining me, as always, the technical support, the star of the show, arguably, certainly the only reason that this show is able to get off the ground. I'm technically incompetent, as we've talked about many times. If you're in the chat with us right now, give it up for Val Agnew. What's up, Val?
What's up, Trent?
I tried some new dance moves in the opening. How did we feel about those? Honest opinions only.
I loved it. I loved it. With your new lighting on your new laptop, you just looked like a new man.
Yes, this is the debut of my new laptop, which I have not yet. I got for Christmas. I got as a gift, but I have yet to use as the laptop for I Love Improv, because my old laptop had all my settings perfectly saved. And then, of course, we get here and we had some issues. But luckily, Val's here helping me, guiding me. She is my guiding light, my guiding hand. But if you've seen or listened to the show before, you already know that. You know that I am nothing and Val is everything. Val, how's it going in Chicago?
It's cold and rainy and it's annoying.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Chicago, lame. Here in California, it's sunny.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, baby. Val, we got some cool Trident stuff coming down the... Is it pipe or pike?
I think it's pike.
I think so, too. Is that why they...
Like,
you know what? I'm going in a whole... and doing a whole thing in my mind, and I'm not gonna... First off, Anjali Vision, the Trident Network's newest podcast, is it's here now. It's happening, and it's every other Wednesday. So if you're watching live with us right now, that means a new episode is dropping on Wednesday. Or if you're listening to this in a future recording on a podcast, if the podcast version of this show, Anjali Vision has a couple new episodes, so go check it out. And it is, of course, a show about essentially all things pop culture, hosted by Anjali. And she's great, and she talks about fun stuff. Val, any thoughts on Anjali Vision, the Trident Network's newest show?
It's a delight. Anjali has a different guest that she interviews every episode, and she talks about a lot of the current TV. And I would not be at all surprised if she addresses the WGA stuff that's going on in her new episode.
Yeah, I bet. That's big happenings right now, especially in our bubbles throughout the world. Sure. Also, Dr. Raymond Pants Books on Tape on Demand just finished their most recent season, which was a Grimm Fairy Tales parody. So you can go back and check out all of those episodes. Dr. Raymond Pants Books on Tape on Demand, one of the craziest, wildest podcasts in all of the Trident Network. Val, any thoughts on Dr. Raymond Pants Books on Tape on Demand?
If you like fiction podcasts, if you like radio plays, that kind of style, you will definitely enjoy this. The parodies are really fun and really detailed. And Ian, the guy who makes it, is great at what he does.
He is great. And then finally, if you would like to become a patron, we would love that. Patreon.com/The Trident Network. There are some, we're starting to put some episodes behind the Patreon paywall, some special stuff. And if you are familiar with the Trident Network, or familiar with Val, or familiar with the Disney Channel, you know that Val hosts arguably the most successful and popular show on all of the Trident Network. It's D Commentaries. where her and her co-host Allie Ring go through and talk about every DCOM Disney Channel original movie that has existed. It's one of my favorite podcasts, and Val and Al just put a very special episode behind the Patreon paywall. So if you're a patron, you can watch, or can you watch, or is it just an audio?
Just listen. But we did put out a fun TikTok that accompanies the episode.
Either follow D commentaries in any capacity you can, but Val, like myself, is a big old Star Wars fan, and Allie has never seen any of them ever. So Val showed Al Star Wars, and you can go listen to Allie's reaction. It's behind the Patreon paywall right now, patreon.com/The Trident Network. Val, I believe it's only $3 a month.
It's $3 a month for the cheapest one. And you're not just supporting our podcast, you're supporting literally everything on the Trident Network. It's pretty cool because we do pay our contributors, and we want to be able to support them in any way that they need. So please help us do that.
Yeah. A lot of people on Trident Network are here for the love of money, but I'm here for the love of improv. Okay. Val, are we ready? Should we get into it?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. This week's guest, I am just simply giddy to have on with me. This is someone who, well, if you've seen the show before, you know that I compliment all the improvisers before we get into our sets. This is someone who I have complimented many times to their face in real life because they are legitimately one of my personal favorite comedians in all of the land. And hopefully, if you don't know her, you're about to be introduced to the great comedic stylings of this week's guest. If you're in the chat right now, please say what's up to Lisa Albano. What's up, Lisa?
Oh my gosh, Trent, you're so kind. What's up? Thank you for having me, you and Val.
Thank you for being here. As you can you confirm or deny? I have literally cornered you to tell you how much I loved you as a performer previously.
No, Trent, you have, and it means so much to me. Like, Lisa, I can't stop smiling.
Yeah, Lisa is truly one of my favorites. Her comedy specifically just hits me personally every time. I don't understand it, but I don't understand like why, like whatever. It's so good. I love
you don't have to understand
it. You don't have to understand. You just got to feel it, baby. So a lot of these compliments you might have heard before. But before we get into that, as you know, if you have seen the show before, you'll know what I'm about to say. But if you're joining us for the first time, Lisa and I are about to do some improv together. And of course, in order to get that going, we will need a suggestion. Now, two things. First, here at I Love Improv with Trent Dozier, we think all suggestions are great suggestions, but we are looking for something a little more specific. We want something thick, meaty, hearty, a lot of meat on that bone. For example, if you were going to give the suggestion of, as I look around looking for something to inspire me, if you were going to give the suggestion of Sonic, instead of doing that, we want something like Trent and Lisa are the new spokespeople for Sonic, and they're also twins, but they are also vegetarians, so they don't know how they got the job, and also Lisa is cross-eyed. Something like that, something with a lot of, meat on the bone, like I said, so we can just get right into it. Now, second, if you have seen Lisa perform before, please, by all means, feel free, start throwing suggestions into the chat. If you have never seen Lisa before, I am going to compliment her right now, and maybe what I like about her improv might inspire the type of character you want to see Lisa play or the type of scene you want to see the two of us do. So you can wait. If you're ready, like I said, throw the suggestions in the chat. But if not, here's the time of the show where Lisa, you sit there and have to receive compliments from me. Are you prepared?
Oh my gosh, I'm squirming. Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, like I said, honestly, it is very funny to have you on the show because I do think you are the person that it's like thinking about it too. I'm like, yeah, I think that's true. I think you are the person who I have gone out of my way the most to tell in person how much I love your stuff or what you're doing. And I just I think you are such a joyful performer. Val knows this. We've been talking a lot about joy recently. And like, you are someone who, when I watch you, I'm just like, oh man, she's having a blast up there. And I'm loving watching her doing this, especially like specifically with your written characters, I think are just so good. Some of my favorite stuff I ever saw in Chicago, solo character wise, was from you, from Lisa Albano. And I think your writing is such a beautiful mixture of so smart and also so dumb. Like, you combine the two so beautifully, and you are like so incredibly smart, I think, especially as a comedian. And you are not the type of person who's like, well, I'm smart, so everything's got to be highbrow. You're able to kind of mix like your intelligence level with like some goofy shit. And I just think it's so good, and you're so good at that, and such a well-balanced writer. Lisa did not only some of her solo stuff is my favorite, but former guest of the show, Hannah McDonald, Lisa and Hannah did a couple 2-person sketch shows back in the day in Chicago that I also loved. Lisa's just like, her comedy brain works so quickly and so well. And then on top of all that, I feel like improvisationally, I have seen you gain confidence over the last like 5, 6, 7 years, however long I've known you now. And it's like, to watch you, it feels like I've watched you mentally catch up to me, to how good I think you are. Like, I think it feels like you're more confident in yourself improvisationally now. Like, I've been to New York a couple times. Lisa's in New York right now. Shout out, Lisa. I've been to New York a couple times in the past year, and I've been lucky enough to perform with Lisa in her show, The Good Time, which we will talk about afterwards. But like, I've always thought you were great, and it's just like, it feels so cool to look at you and see you more confident now. I don't know if that rings true for me, but I feel like watching you, I'm like, yes, dude, Lisa knows she's good now. Lisa knows. And I feel like previously you're always like, I don't know, I'm just okay. And then you'd slink off. But I'm like, no, Lisa is an absolute killer. So like I said, I think you're just so smart. Your comedic brain is so good, and your confidence is higher than I've ever seen it. And it makes me feel good, like, for you, because I can't say it enough. I think you're brilliant. So, Lisa, was all that too much? Not enough? That was probably too much. I don't know.
Trent, that was the nicest thing in the world, and I really genuinely so appreciate that. And that makes me feel really good. And I completely agree. Like, I feel much more confident improv wise than I always used to be so timid. So I'm also happy that reads more, because I'm still like working on confidence in improv.
Yeah.
Which
aren't we all? Well, I guess I'm not. I'm stupid confident.
Well, you're making an improv.
Probably a bad thing. Well, thank you. I don't know about that, but I like to have fun. You know what I mean? All right, Val, how are we looking? If anybody hasn't thrown in a suggestion yet, now's the time. Val, have we gotten any already?
We have. We've gotten a couple.
Okay.
I'm going to give the runner-up first. So this is not your suggestion, but it's worth reading. A shape-shifting cow who wants to bring down the evil capitalist organization of McDonald's.
Thank you,
Floss Rider, for that.
Thank you, Floss Rider. Here's a fun fact for all you I Love Improv with Trent Dozier heads out there. My junior year of high school, I hit puberty, and I was no longer able to sing without my voice cracking, but I still wanted to be in the musical, and the musical was Into the Woods. So I asked my drama teacher, Mrs. Woods, what the situation was with Milky White, the cow. And she was like, well, we're just going to have a wooden cow. And I was like, okay, well, what if I was the cow? And she was like, interesting. And then for my audition, I sang all 6 minutes, including the guitar breakdown of Bohemian Rhapsody. And I got the part, baby. Uncontested, but I got the part.
Incredible.
So, yeah, I'm a big cow fan. Anyways, Val, what's the real suggestion?
Okay. You are a recently divorced couple in neighboring booths at a trade fair for your competing arts and crafts business.
Oh, that is good. That is good. Who's the suggestion from?
Mr. Ryan Burkett.
Oh, thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Okay. Lisa, are you ready?
Yes.
Val, are you ready?
Oh, always. Have a great time.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Val. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan. Star.
Oh, are you kidding me? I thought you weren't
Tim.
gonna. Deb, I thought we agreed that I was going to handle the East Coast shows.
Tim. I love
Deb,
Maryland. I love Maryland. What are you talking about?
well, I know you love Maryland, but is Maryland not on the East Coast? I thought I was handling. I thought I got the East Coast, you got the West Coast, and then we were flipping coins for middle America.
You know, and it's just like you. This is it. This is why. You're wondering why didn't it work out? Look inward. Look in this moment. Are you kidding? Don't tell me you have the Fabergé eggs.
Like, yeah, that's the whole cornerstone of my artwork is the Fabergé eggs. What am I gonna do?
Tim,
Not sell the Fabergé eggs?
Tim, they'd never work in a market like Maryland.
Are
Is
you
this a
kidding me?
joke?
In fact, it is not a joke. As you can see here, this egg I've branded as a terrapin egg because Maryland University is the Terrapins. So I actually think my Fabergé eggs are really going to fly off the shelves at this trade show.
Yeah, I'm sure a 21-year-old would love a Fabergé egg. Real smart planning there.
You think 21-year-olds are spending their time at a Maryland art trade show? No, they're going down to the lakes and the rivers or whatever. I don't know. You're a Maryland person. I don't.
Tim, we gotta talk boundaries. This is a little crazy. I feel like I'm being followed a little bit.
Followed? I feel like I'm being tricked. Is Maryland not on the East Coast? I
well,
feel
it is,
bamboozled.
but it's Maryland. One of my favorite states.
Just because Maryland is one of your top 12 states doesn't mean that you get a monopoly on your top 12 states. Just because Deb has this big, I know we all know your back tattoo is of your 12 favorite states, and I don't care. Just because you don't get a monopoly on everything, just because you like the states. I get the East Coast.
You remember my back tattoo?
I remember a lot of things about your body.
Like what?
Like how it felt in my hands when we were one, or how your hair would hit me in the face in the morning when you rolled over, or how you have a constant nasal drip and you're always blowing your nose and wiping your nose, and you've always just got a little bit of booger when we make out, which I grew accustomed to. And now, not that I'm out here making out a lot. It's been a little dry for Tim, I'll say it, but if I meet a nice lady and we're making out, I don't like it as much because they don't have a nasal drip, and so their lips don't taste like boogers. Like yours. I love your booger lips. What can I say?
I don't know what you can say.
Well,
that's very interesting.
All I can say is I miss you, and I hope you're doing well, and that the East Coast I thought was mine. So I don't mean to get into a fight in front of everybody, of course.
No, of course not.
Of course not.
Of course not.
Of course not.
No, we're civilized. We're adults. We're grown adults.
We're grown adults. We're at a
Deb. Family affair.
What?
We're at a family affair, and
yes.
we're civil. We can be civil together.
Yes, we can, and we are. And I think if I sell all of my Fabergé eggs today, since you don't think I will be able to,
I never said that. I just said, did you bring them? And maybe it's not the market for Maryland. I never said you'd never sell.
Well, that was the implication, was that it wouldn't sell. I would like to make a bet that I will sell 100% of my eggs, and if we do, we have to get remarried.
We have to get remarried.
If I can sell all my eggs in Maryland, I think we should get remarried.
Well, you have a deal. Fine. That's an easy bargain. Absolutely.
For real?
Yes, Tim, you're not going to sell 100 Fabergé eggs in Maryland.
You don't know that. I'm going to try very hard. And they will be sold, and I'll prove I'll prove my worth by selling the eggs, and I'll win you back.
I'd love to see you try.
I'm gonna try. That's what I'm
Absolutely.
about to try.
No, I appreciate
once these
that.
doors open, I'm gonna try, and you'll see that in the last year, you'll see how much I've changed and how much I've grown and how much I've improved. And you haven't said anything about my mustache. No comment on my mustache and my big curly mustache now. So it seems like you're either so into it that you can't comment on it, or you're so against it that I might go shave it right away.
I assumed you were very sensitive about it. I said, "Oh, this is a man in crisis. I won't comment."
Oh, dang it. Okay, I am in crisis, but I was hoping not to be giving crisis. That's disappointing. That's disappointing to hear. Shoot. Okay, I'll shave it. I'll shave it before the show starts.
You don't have to. You have a razor? You don't have to. Listen, we're not together. I'm sure there are some ladies who love that. I don't know, stuck on it and stuff. I don't know what you get up to. It's none of my business.
I would like it to be your business. I'd like
for me to suck on your mustache.
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, quite frankly, no one sucked on it yet, so I don't know if I would even like that. I don't know if another person would like doing that, but I meant like I would like to get back in business with you, like emotionally. Yeah.
Not financially, Tim, we can't.
Well,
the court has ordered us to stay far away from each other. We're not allowed to have businesses in the same state.
Okay, but if we're legally married again, then it seems like it would be fine for our finances to fuse back into one. Would it? I mean, would it not? It seems
Tim,
fun.
The judge said she had never seen such chaos on a balance sheet. She talked to her accountant about it because she was so blown away by it. Both of us can't do math, and somehow we operated 2.5 businesses. She said she would resign she would go to the bar association, take her name off the list if we ever started a business again, because she knew we'd be prosecuted and she didn't want that on her conscience. We can't do it. You and I, we got along really well, but 2 wrongs don't make a right mathematically, because you and I, we can't. Sometimes I'm surprised we're alive still. I don't know how we paid bills. I don't. We're like I don't know, the forensic analysts, they nearly shit themselves when they saw our papers.
I was at the trial. I don't need all this. I don't need it all drudged up. I know how incompetent we both are.
Right, but we can't join a business again. It affected people. It affected the courts. That's a huge burden. Can you imagine affecting the courts again?
I don't know. Part of me is like, feels good to know that I have an impact on people's lives, that I'm not just, a tumbleweed rolling through the world. I'm doing stuff, and it might be affecting people negatively, but I bet you everybody in that courtroom went home after our trial and their finances are in order better than they've ever been before.
I think that's very true.
I think we actually
I do think we had a good effect on people.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm arguing here, is that we're kind of individually 2 wrongs, but put together we're a force for good.
Don't go there, Tim. Don't go there.
We could be a force for good together once again.
Tim, I've started crocheting and it's doing a lot for me, so don't start with anything. We're here to sell.
Do you have any crocheting stuff on you that you could show me right now? Maybe a little sample of what you've been working on?
You're bad. But yes, I do.
Okay, just want a little peek. See. Okay, I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but I think we should start a business.
Tim, we can't start a business. Nobody actually needs decorative carrots, but I think they're so cute.
What? Nobody needs decorative glass carrots, but decorative crocheted carrots? There's a market for that. Can you do any other fruits or vegetables?
I'm just on carrots right now. It's so complicated. People say, "Oh, you can crochet for hours." Not me. My hands get so tired.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't. I'm spending all my time resting my knuckles.
Well, if you had a partner in life, and I'm not going to name names, but I could think of one guy who could be helpful. I could, help ice your hands for you, or heat your hands for you, or massage your hands for you, or put lotion on your hands. Just, I could help with the general upkeep, because we would be in the business together. It would be a twofer deal.
Tim, you're being bad.
I
You're
know.
being bad.
What
We're
can I
at a
say?
craft fair.
What can I say?
No,
Something about Maryland just makes me feel naughty. I don't know.
no, there's chaos with us. There's chaos and people won't stand for it. We've already been blacklisted from other fairs. There's a limited number of craft fair in
I know.
suburban
That's why
areas.
I'm at this one, because we haven't been banned from it yet. But I don't know.
Tim, did you
Maybe
know
we
I
could
was gonna
try.
be here? Is that what this
I
is?
You have not turned off your location services on your phone, so I don't want you to feel like you're being followed, because I did happen to be in the area, and I just noticed that you were going to be at this craft fair, so I thought I could pop in. Maryland makes me feel bad, bad in a sexy way. And I thought, pop in, see what Deb's up to. You look incredible. I mean, still as good as ever. And I was thinking maybe we get the band back together, get the team pumping again, and go from there. Get my life back on track. Get our life back on track. Get our businesses back on track.
Tim, they were never on a track, our
Well,
businesses.
yeah, but I think our real business is not any of the literal businesses that we've started together, but it's the change, the positive change that we've given people in their lives
Mm,
through through our collective incompetence.
mm. We're like Judge Judy, but for
Yes.
highly educated people who work in the legal system.
Yes. We're like a combination of Judge Judy and Judge Steve Harvey. We have all the
Oh,
legality of Judge Judy and also none of the legality of Judge Steve Harvey.
absolutely. With a little Maury in there.
Oh, yes, a little Maury. Okay, I'm just, I would be lying if I said I didn't miss you. Uh, I miss rubbing my hands over that back tattoo of yours. And if your hands are getting all cramped from crocheting, I could be of service. That's all I'm saying. I could be of service. I could be of service. Is all I'm saying.
Well, this is highly inappropriate,
I know you
is
got
all
me
I'm
there.
saying.
I
So
agree. You got me there. I agree.
I I'll have to think.
And that's fine. Go have a think on it. I got 100 Fabergé eggs to sell, and I got news for you, little lady. I'm gonna sell every single one of them, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what Tim's all about nowadays.
Are you still playing guitar? Still playing guitar?
Actually, have it with me.
Tim,
I could
you
lay down a little
didn't.
something. I could lay down a little something if you want to hear something. You got something in mind? Maybe I should play our song, or you want to some little something? I'm taking requests.
You can surprise me.
Okay. Guitar's a little out of tune because it was in a bag, and also I don't know if you can see, but I picked it up left-handed. It is a lefty guitar, and I'm right-handed, so I'm
You're
I'm
fully
I'm challenging
right-handed.
myself. I'm challenging myself is what I've been.
This is
Okay.
the first. I've never seen that in our marriage. Challenging yourself.
I'm just trying to, prove to anybody, I guess, nobody in particular, that I can change. Okay, here we go. Is this the real life, or is it fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a poor boy. I need no sympathy because I'm easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Anywhere the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. To me. And then, there's like 5 more minutes to that song. And I'll play it later. You know what? Here is my room key if you want to hear the rest of that song later. Something to think about.
Something to think about is I took a shower this morning and I'll be in the bathroom at 11:30. Just something to think about.
Which bathroom?
The family one.
The family
with the
bathroom.
changing table.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm going to go set up my booth and I will see you in approximately, AM or PM, 11:30?
It's AM.
Oh, I will see you in 3 hours.
It's in 3, yep.
Okay. All right.
It's in 3 hours.
Milady.
My gentleman.
Ding, ding, ding. Shoot. You know what? Can you, would you do me a favor?
What?
Could you hold my guitar for me just
Okay.
for a second while I pick up my, okay. Now, could you just place the guitar? Actually, shoot. You know what? Okay, I'll take the guitar back. Thank you. I'm going to put the guitar back in the bag. I'm going to do that. Take the box. Okay, I will see you at 11:30.
Okay, and I will see you at 11:30.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice. Shoot! No!
Tim, were those your eggs?
Those were my eggs.
Tim, how many dollars worth of eggs were in that box?
$40,000 worth of eggs.
Timothy.
I spent the eggs themselves were not that expensive, but I spent a lot of money on Maryland terrapinning them.
Oh my God. You know what?
No. Are you about to rescind the offer?
I was. But she looked so damn cute in that moment.
Yeah.
And is that weird? A pity fuck in the family bathroom? Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
A little
you can say whatever you want.
A little doink in the bathroom. A little tickle in my regions.
Okay, I'll see you for a pity tickle in your regions. Okay, that's the scene. Oh my God. So funny.
Once I said that, I was like, oh no, am I not allowed to say that word?
Oh,
you are allowed to swear.
Yes.
Swearing is allowed.
But it did give us pity tickle, which is better.
A little doink, also very funny.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, Lisa, that was great. I loved playing with you. And that scene was no different. You and I remember the first time you and I ever did Two Props together was I famously for a year and a half hosted the midnight show at IO with former guest of the show Cam Hurt, and Cam was out of town one time and I was like, well, I got a list of people I'd like to play with and someone's at the top of that list. And that was the first time we ever played together. And I just like, I don't know. The last couple of times I've been in New York, the scenes I've done with you specifically, I've walked away from feeling like really satisfied. And this was no different. I feel like I had fun. I feel like you had fun. and I feel like we were like fucking with each other and playing with each other in that way, which is like, as Val can attest, my favorite style of improv is that like fuckery where the scene partners are fucking with each other, but the me and Lisa in real life are actually messing with each other in addition to the performers. How did that scene feel for you?
No, totally. Because I remember that also midnight show. I think that's when we were like ladies of the night or something. It was like crazy. No,
That's
well,
a
because
good
that's the
name.
thing. It's like that was Brian Burkett. Thank you so much. Such a fun suggestion. But
Yes.
also, you don't want it to be a fight the whole time because it's not actually fun to watch people fight. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, we're gonna see each other and claws will be out. But then we had to like divert it emotionally to like there is some sexual tension between
Yeah, I
these
think
crafting people.
I think that is such a good point of people don't just want to sit there and watch a fight the whole time. I think there are improvisers who are capable of making fights like enjoyable and watchable.
Hmm.
And like honestly, I think you and I are probably capable of that too, but it's also like not necessarily something I want to lean into. And so I think you were the one who first started like thawing the ice in that way, like remembering the marriage of the past. And I was like, oh, that's like immediately I was like, that's such a better choice than for us being like, well, we're divorced for a reason. It's like a much more enjoyable, it's much more enjoyable to watch me continuing to fuck up, trying to win you back. And it's so like, it felt like your character was like, I really would like to get back with you. And then he keeps doing shit. And you're like, you know what? I can't. This is why it was fun to watch like that kind of mental work from your character, just being like, he's a loser. I can't do it.
But I will never say no to a quickie in the bathroom. If
A
you see it
little
at the
doink.
craft fair, a little
Yeah.
doink, why not? We're in
Uh,
Maryland.
it's also so, to me, the detail of like we're using the family bathroom is so funny. And you know they're doing some weird shit on the changing table, and they love like having more room to to operate
Yeah,
basically.
we're not in a stall. We're not animals.
And there's
Yeah.
like a line queuing, like
Yeah.
And we were a family. What a symbolic place to
Yeah, a
have
symbolic
our
place for a little quick doink.
tickles.
Yeah, get your regions tickled. Getting your regions tickled is so funny. That's such a funny way to see. That's what I mean. That's like so smart and so dumb at the same time, saying getting my regions tickled. It's great.
Thank you.
Val?
Well, yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Lisa. No,
No, I was gonna
please.
say that when you were saying that earlier, that is my favorite kind of comedy. Like or even just listening like a podcast where it's like one of my favorite podcasts is a Real Housewives podcast, and it's two comedians,
Uh-huh.
and they talk about the dumbest topics so seriously.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what I love.
Giving stupidity weight is so funny. I think that's like some of you're right. That's like some of my favorite comedy, and that's also specifically some of my favorite improv is like you see people treating this situation as life or death, and it's like, selling Fabergé eggs or whatever to win back his ex-wife. It's like improv lends itself to that so beautifully so often, where you can just like, as long as the performers on stage are giving themselves over to the world and the reality, then it's like so easy for the audience to be like, yes, absolutely, I'm in on it. Same thing like with movies and stuff. There's a lot of times where like, for example, in John Wick Chapter 4, there's a part where Keanu gets kicked down a flight of stairs, and it's like many, many, many flights of stairs. And my friend Chris Bethel, who is not an improviser and who will never be a guest on this show, but does love improv, he was like, it was so unrealistic to me that Keanu fell down that many flights of stairs just from one push. And I said, that was what was unrealistic about John Wick to you? Not the network of homeless assassins or the fire bullets that he was shooting or the how well behaved all these dogs are. So it's just like, as long as, but that's an extreme example, but as long as you're like, and I think that this happens a lot in some of the best improv I see is like people just fully committing to the world. And then it's so easy for the audience to be like, well, that would never happen in real life, but I am fully believing and seeing everything that's happening here. Although a quick doink in the family bathroom, I'm sure that happens at many an arts and craft fair.
Yeah, I'm sure there are some freaks at those fairs.
I can guarantee.
There is.
It's interesting, talking about this, because I totally agree that like playing as if this reality is like 100% true to you and like you're in it fully, and like taking it seriously in terms of like the characters taking it seriously is like the best improv. And I'm so glad, like there was a period of time, like maybe 5-10 years ago, when like the style of improv was much more like self-referential and like almost like, isn't this so stupid what I'm doing right now? And like it's like, maybe that's fun for the people doing it in the moment, but like it's not fun for the audience to watch at all. And so I'm so glad that it seems like the trend now with improv is a lot more like what you're talking about, like where it's much more just like playing it as seriously as you possibly can as these dumbass people, because like that's what's funny. And like you come across like truths when you do that, like there is so many couples in the world where like functionally as a couple they do not work at all, but like they have sexual chemistry and like they can't stop like relapsing into each other over and over again. Like that is such a real thing, and you found that because you took this seriously enough as those people to like find that in this arc of this discussion. And like you wouldn't have found that if you were just sort of like, isn't this dumb what we're doing right now? Improv, this art is stupid. So yeah, I appreciate that that's the trend now, is like being serious about the stupidity.
I totally agree, Val. I remember when I first got to Chicago, there was a lot of that back in 2016, 2017, 2018, like that range. And it was always really weird to me because I feel really lucky, because I feel like the way I was trained at Made Up Theater in Fremont, California was how me and Lisa just played that scene, which was, it doesn't matter how dumb anything is, as long as the character you're playing believes it or is like invested in the reality of whatever the situation is. And so to see that in Chicago, I was always kind of like, that's interesting. Not my favorite. I've seen it done really well. I mean, there are people in Chicago who are incredible improvisers that improvise like that. But I really feel like and we've talked about this on the show a little bit before previously, but like our kind of generation of performers is such a, like Lisa is honestly a good example of it. I think I'm a good example of it too. Val, you also, it's like the people who want to fuck around and have fun, but also, treat it as an art form. Like there are people who just want to fuck around. There are people who are so hoity-toity about improv. And then there are the people who are the marriage of the two of those things. And I feel like a lot of our friends, a lot of our generation of performers that came through Chicago are people who love just having fun, but also really cared about the work, and it makes for great stuff, like this scene tonight or our scene with Andrew in the last episode. He's definitely of our generation. Like all those type of people, the group of people in New York right now, with Lisa, the good time. I love it. I love our quote unquote class of improvisers.
Me too. Yeah, I fully agree.
All right. Well, we're getting close to the top of the hour, so we'll start wrapping it up. And speaking of the good time is made up of 8 Chicago performers who all moved to New York, including one, Lisa Albano. They are 8 incredible performers. I love all of them. They're all great. And they have a show every Thursday night at 7 p.m. in New York at the Brooklyn Comedy Collective. So they got a show coming up this Thursday, which Val has the ticket link to, which she's going to throw in the chat right now.
It's in now.
But they're every Thursday at 7. I have been, as I said, lucky enough to do the show and watch the show when I've visited New York the past couple times. And it's just like, I don't know. It's great. I love it. And I am obviously biased because I think the 8 of you, including you, Lisa, are all just wonderful people and wonderful performers. And so it's like really nice to go and see that like Chicago style community in New York. I love it. It's great. Also, please follow Lisa on Twitter and on TikTok at girlfriend Lisa's videos are some of the best, top-notch stuff. You've probably seen her.
Oh my
Her
God.
holiday videos are the best.
Thank
But
you.
Lisa is the best. Follow her anywhere, and please, 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 if you're in New York, if you live in New York, or if you're on the East Coast at all, or if you're visiting, go see The Good Time. For my money, it's one of the best shows you could possibly see. And like I said, I am absolutely biased, but I'm also correct. It is one of the best. Lisa, any final thoughts from you?
Oh my gosh. This is so fun. I've actually never done Zoom improv before. Like
Uh,
right? I don't think so. No, I've
Wow.
watched during the pandemic, I watched many a show,
yeah.
but this was so fun and because I didn't realize when I before we started, I was like, I'm assuming we're doing object work. But then I love that when you handed me things, I was like, absolutely, I'll take them right from you.
How?
Um,
Okay. That's funny that you mentioned that, because I feel like typically I always ask if people have done Zoom improv or not, and we didn't talk about it at all. So I would just quickly ask, did it feel weird in any way doing it, or was it just like, I'm doing a scene with a friend, it's normal?
no, yeah, it didn't actually feel weird at all. For a sec, like I would just watch you, which for me, like your screen is down here. So like
Mm,
one time I was like, are my eyes like somewhere different the whole show? But then I was like, well, I'm not gonna figure it out. So I
yeah.
just went along with it. It was super fun.
Well, it's funny too. Speaking of Hannah McDonald's episode previously,
Mm.
and specifically, we were doing a scene where her and I were in a car. And you're right. So for what you guys are all seeing on Twitch is in our Zoom link is I have Lisa's video, I have my video, and Val's video is what everybody's seeing on Twitch right now. And so I was looking, Hannah and I were both looking at that screen, but we were, side by side, but both of our in our own videos were mirroring each other. So like Lisa looks the same to me both in her video but also in the Twitch stream, but I am doing the reverse in my video of what I'm doing on Twitch. So all that is to say, we were driving and I was looking one way, like we were talking to each other as if we were looking at each other, but we were talking out the window to each other. And it's so that's the weird thing about the show is like if you're listening to it on a podcast, you would have never known. But if you're watching the Twitch stream or if you're watching the video later on YouTube, you're like, these guys are not looking at each other at all. And it was funny because we kept like trying to adjust. Oh my God, that was very funny. Well, great, Lisa. I'm glad that this felt fun and easy and was a good time, because it was fun and easy for me and a good time also. And go see The Good Time.
Mhm.
Boom, perfect.
Very on brand.
Remember to join the Trident Network Patreon at patreon.com/the Trident Network. Also, somewhere down here is a purple subscribe button. And if you click on that button, you will get notified anytime the Trident Network goes live on Twitch. Of course, there are more shows than just I Love Improv on Twitch. And if you are subscribed, you'll know anytime anything's going live.
That's right.
Finally, I have a couple of live shows coming up in LA that don't have ticket links yet, but by the time this episode gets posted in podcast form next week, there will be ticket links. So if you're watching live, please circle back and look for those ticket links there, or you can follow Family Reunion Show on Instagram. The link will be there. But Cam and Trent's Family Reunion, starring me and former guest of the show, Cam Hurt, will be back on Wednesday, May 24th at 7 p.m. at the Yard Theater in Los Angeles, California. Beautiful, sunny LA. If you're around, we would love to have you there. Tickets are only $8 if you buy them ahead of time online, $10 at the door. And then finally, we have a very special show coming up on Wednesday, May 31st, also at 7 p.m. If you've listened to the show before, you've probably heard me talk a little bit about the Chilax Collective, which is similar to the Good Time in New York. We are a bunch of Chicago-based comedians who moved to LA over the past couple of years, and Chilax shows are every Wednesday at the Yard Theater at 7 p.m. and there's 4 shows. But in May, we have a bonus fifth Wednesday of the month. So all 4 shows, which is the Illuminati Hour, hosted by Damon Royster and Elizabeth Andrews, 2 former guests of the show. Wet Bus, which is 3 wonderful performers who I love, Aaron Keefe, Waleed Mansour, and Sean Coyle. And then also Tall Boys Club, which is hosted by Alan Giles. The 8 of us, including me and Cam, are all going to do a big group Chilax show together. We did one at the end of the year last year to celebrate the holidays. And I feel really lucky that we have this little bonus show here at the end of the month also. So if you can't see us on the 24th, see us on the 31st. Like I said, hopefully I'll have ticket links for both of those in the podcast, and definitely we'll have ticket links live on Twitch when we're back in 2 weeks. Val, anything else? I think that's it.
That's it. This was fun.
This was fun. Lisa, one of the all-time greats. I love playing with you. I love getting the opportunity to watch you do anything, and I love getting to be personally involved even more. So this was great. Thank you for doing the show.
Thank you so much. This was so fun. I love improv, and I love
Trent. She loves it.
Thank you to you Val, and to Val. Thank you.
Val, thank you also. And of course, thank you to Ryan Burkett for our wonderful suggestion. Check out Ryan's show on the Trident Twitch network, Pilot Season. That's also a great show. All right, that's it. I think it's very important for me to say go Warriors. Game 4 is about to start, and it's dire straits for the good guys right now. But hopefully they can get it done. And even more importantly, I'm begging you. Lisa already knows this because she said it herself. But you guys got to remember, I love